get this money from? Money. Man. Money.
Innovation family. What is up, guys? How you guys doing today? It's me, Brandon, your friend and neighbor, your host, back in front of the video for Innovation Property Atlanta. Close my door. Just here talking about this Turo car game, private rentals, side hustles, ways we all can make, save money, come together. Before we jump to today's quick reaction video, guys, remember to like my video if you guys don't mind. Subscribe to my channel as we're on the road to 800 subscribers, or 1,000, I should say. Got about 800 right now. Hit the notification buttons so you guys are alerted and staying on top of my videos when I drop them out. And then we'll go from there. Also, leave some comments and questions in the comment section below, and I can banter with you, give my thoughts, feedback, and let you guys know what I'm thinking. So today's reaction videos from my guys from Car Edge. I think that their names are Ray and Zach, father and son combo, talking about Carvana and how it bounced back. Carvana, as you guys didn't know, was on the verge of bankruptcy last year, as a lot of used car companies were. Vroom, I did a video on a couple weeks ago, actually filed for bankruptcy. So Carvana was able to escape the bankruptcy trap and able to actually have a profitable year in 2023. So let's hear what Ray and Zach have to say about Carvana bouncing back when it comes to the used car market. So let's do a quick presentation and fire my guys up. Look forward to hearing what they got to say. Ray and Zach, when it comes to Carvana bouncing back.
Whatever.
All right, gang. I'm in the not so great setup today, but we'll make the most of it. Dad, we're gonna kick things off here with Carvana. Earnings just came out from Carvana. Just the other day, we were talking about how things could be looking shaky for Carvana. That being said, they are showing us that we were wrong. Carvana posts narrower net loss in Q4. Revenue is only down 15%. That's the good news.
All right, guys,
they made money.
I'm going to fade to black. I'm going to let the guys do what they do, and I'm going to fire back up at the end of the video for my comments and feedback. So see what Ray and Zach have to say.
What we're talking about. And just this morning, Dad, I got another offer from Carvana. I'll pull it up on the screen real quick. They are offering more money for used cars than they have been in a long time. Here's that 2020 Honda Civic that I've been tracking for a while. Past month, they say it went up 5%. Every Carvana car we track, they are paying more and more money as their revenues go down, but their profits go up. What do you make of this, man? I guess Carvana knows something that we don't.
Yeah, they got their bondholders to eat $1 billion worth of bonds.
That's a compelling. You got to be a good salesperson to figure that one out.
So I guess if you can get your creditors to eat $1 billion worth of credit that they gave to you, then suddenly you can post your first ever profitable year. My suspicion is that if that $1 billion in debt had not been forgiven, Carvana would not have been profitable. So, kudos to Ernie Garcia Jr. and his team for convincing their creditors to eat $1 billion worth of loans that they had issued to Carvana. Does that mean they know what they're doing when it comes to running a used car business? I'm not sure, but it means they were good at portraying themselves to their creditors as being too big to fail.
Yeah, I guess there's a little bit of that going on. We know there's all sorts of chaos continuing to happen in the used car market. We've actually got some updates from our dear friend Brandon from Car Questions Answered, talking about tax time. We'll spend a few minutes there. I want to start here, actually, though. So Carvana sold 76,090 cars in the fourth quarter, down 13% from a year earlier. This is where things are just wild.
Yes.
The total gross profit per vehicle was $5,283, up from $2,219 in the year earlier quarter. Now, we looked at this just yesterday. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. We have the gross profit per unit sold for the publicly traded auto dealers. And this is, we're looking at used car gross profit per unit. So just to put into perspective, and each of these are linked back, to Lithia's earnings release or Penske's earnings release. So I did the research.
Yes.
No other car dealer group can even get close to the profit levels that Carvana is able to get, which is just, if I'm a consumer, something I'm going to keep in mind as I'm navigating the car. I mean, CarMax doesn't even get close to how much gross profit Carvana is able to report on each vehicle sold. $5,283. So much money.
So the question that needs to be asked is that gross profit that they're reporting per vehicle sold, is that based on generally accepted accounting principles, or is that based on non-generally?
They're publicly traded. They have to be GAAP compliant. There's no world.
They do not. They do not. They can report things that are non-GAAP compliant. Okay, so that's the question. Was this based on generally accepted accounting principles or non-generally accepted accounting principles? That's a good question to ask.
It's kind of like when WeWork was going public the first time, and I think they came up with like community adjusted earnings or something like that. It's like, oh, that's a good looking mug you got there. So we've talked about Carvana on this channel before, and we've had executives from Carvana reach out to us to help us better understand their business model. So some things can be inflated in their numbers when it comes to when they actually sell their loans, which is a major part of how they make money. They finance these vehicles through a captive finance arm, and then they sell those as asset-backed securities. So maybe some of that happened here, and that's influencing the numbers. But again, just at the highest level, they like 2.5x their gross profit per vehicle when no other car dealer is even in the same stratosphere.
So what does that suggest? It suggests either these guys are incredibly good at what they do, or if you look at history, they've had 2 quarters in their entire history where they have made money. Okay? 2. And they've been around 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, whatever it is. So in my opinion, and this is strictly my opinion, they are not so far above everybody else because of their sales ability. I believe they are so far above everybody else in what they report because it is probably non-generally accepted accounting practices that they are using for their gross profit per vehicle sold. Because guess what? If they were so damn good, they every one of those publics would have poached every high-ranking executive at Carvana to get them to work for the publics. Okay? It's something's fishy.
He's not buying it, folks. He's not buying it.
I am not buying it. Now, that's not to say that investors out there won't be buying it. Obviously, they are. Carvana's stock is up dramatically. So at a certain point, either in my opinion, I will be proven right that there are some things going on that aren't necessarily compliant, and this entire, what I suspect is a house of cards, will come tumbling down at some point, or I will be proven conclusively wrong, and these guys are just absolute used car geniuses. If I were to bet, and my bet might not pay off for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, but it's going to be like Enron. Okay, it's
in your opinion.
In my opinion, the stock market is filled with fraud. Has been, is now, always will be, and the reason it is because there's been money to be made. Okay, so if you can put together numbers that Bernie Madoff did it forever. He just kept feeding his clients whatever they wanted to hear, and they just kept giving them money. They probably knew better. In their heart of hearts, they probably said, geez, how's this guy getting 20% returns when everybody else is getting 10? But you know what? I'm going to keep giving them my money until one day it turns out it was all a fraud. Okay? Enron was a fraud. There's been any number of massive corporations that have gone bankrupt because they were frauds, because investors want to buy the crap. They want to buy the good news. They don't want to see the bad news. So yeah, they're people just, the investors keep, they want to buy. That's it. They want to buy into it. They don't want to believe that they could be being taken advantage of. And I, in my opinion, believe ultimately that they will find out that they have been taken advantage of.
A lot of great opinions that represent opinions.
Yes.
The lawyers, man, they're just going to love this one. But Dad, let's come back here to the Carvana value tracker. Here's another vehicle. They are just, this one's gone up 22% in the past month. What was it? A Volkswagen Tiguan?
Yeah.
Volkswagen Tiguan. How do you reconcile how aggressive they're being right now? I guess they're just really, really, really trying to move.
And then the other thing they say is they've been so much smarter in how they're paying for inventory and how they're valuing inventory. And yet you see crazy numbers like those and you go, really? Are they? It just, people are buying what they're selling at the moment. They're believing what they're hearing. And in my opinion. And so that's it. We only time will tell. And
you're right about that.
Yes. And here's my hope. I hope I live long enough to be proven either right or wrong.
Definitely. I hear you, Pops. I absolutely hear you. We have some new data from Cox Automotive. It's showing us that used car sales are picking up a little bit on the retail side. So that is a headline from today. Used retail vehicle sales pick up in January. We have market days supply at the start of February being 49 days, down from 58 at the beginning of January. So maybe a little sign of the spring selling season coming to fruition. We got a text from Brandon from Car Questions Answered saying things are picking up. So maybe, the Carvana news that just came out paired with a really strong second quarter as a result of the spring selling season. Yeah, maybe things are picking up for used car dealers, but we're not seeing a ton of signs that point to that being the case. I'll come here, Dad, to the chat from Igor saying, Zach, you are so wrong. Ray is on point. Listen to your dad. I hear you, Igor. 100% hear you. I respect my dad's take on this. From Ryan. Ryan saying, we just sold our car to Carvana. I can't say enough good things about it. They gave us the highest amount from 5 different trade offers, and they didn't care that we couldn't find the second key fob.
Yeah, because they're buying cars so much smarter than everybody else. That was in part of what they claimed about why they had such a good quarter.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. Well, why don't we switch gears? We've got some more interesting earnings coming out. We can actually turn our attention real quick to another electric vehicle maker that reported earnings. VinFast, they only lost $150 million last quarter. This comes on the heels of Rivian and Lucid also reporting huge losses in the next quarter. It's tough to reconcile what's going on there, man.
You know what I'd really like to see? Can you pull that headline up one more time?
Of course I can, Pops.
Okay. VinFast Q4 net loss grows to $650 million as EV deliveries jump. What I want to see is I actually want to see an EV jump. Okay? Because that's all I want to see. I like the headline more than anything else about it. VinFast is having a tough time selling cars because they're probably some of the worst rated EVs out there as far as range and everything else. So, of course they lost a lot of money. As people remind me, startups burn through money. Hell, I know a young man who's running a startup that used to burn through money. So it's just part and parcel of starting up a new business, those initial costs that eventually get absorbed because you're doing volume. They're not doing the volume yet, but my guess is strictly a guess. I mean, you don't see a lot of print about VinFast.
No.
You don't in forums, or you don't hear people going, "Oh yeah, VinFast, that's the EV for me." There was more chatter before they came to the country than there is now that they're here and they're not selling very many vehicles. So we will MCI. Yeah, that's Joshua. Very good. MCI all over again when it comes to Carvana. Yes.
No, but you're right. Startups have huge upfront expenses, but holy cow,
Yeah.
these losses just keep mounting. And as we see EV demand starting to, EV sales continue to grow, but it's slowing down significantly. And especially for the legacy automakers,
Yes.
it's not pretty. I've got a few examples actually here. We'll turn to
Yes.
it now. We had one of our community members, David, send this in to us from a local dealer website. This is a Ford F-150 Lightning. And you can just see here, I'll zoom in on it, that it's discount central, right? It's a $93,440 pickup truck, which that's insane to think.
Yes.
They're having to discount it significantly.
Yes, they've discounted it $17,000, and my guess is that's not enough. Okay, that's just a guess, but I don't think people are looking to spend $75,000 for an electric pickup truck that isn't a Rivian or something else. Just my opinion. We shall see. I mean, Ford forced themselves to get into the electric vehicle market because they felt like they didn't want to be late to the party. And I will share one anecdote with you about the flaw in that thinking. 3 letters, MDX. The Acura MDX. There was no vehicle manufacturer that was later to the party with a SUV of some kind than Acura, excuse me, when it came to the MDX. As one of the executives said, if you're going to be late to the party, you better bring a beautiful looking date. And that's what they did when they finally came out with the MDX. Sometimes you are better off being late to the party because you've looked at all the entrants in that segment and you've taken the best from all of them and combined them into yours.
Yeah.
And I believe in many cases, Ford said, we don't want to be late to the party. So we're going to figure out how to bring a date to that party. Whether it's a good date, a bad date, doesn't matter. We're bringing a date. And what has happened is that the date that they brought isn't nearly as desirable as they thought it was going to be, in that it doesn't perform at the same levels as some of the other lifestyle trucks out there. And
but it's not just the trucks. Look at this. There's a new 2022 Mach-E that was a $73,000 MSRP that this dealer is now discounting $17,000. So it's like they wanted to bring a date to the party, and they showed up a couple hours before the party got started, it seems like.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure they were on the red carpet, and what they've done is, I would say if it wasn't an EV, I would say they left some oil stains on the carpet. But it is
Innovation family. So that's today's reaction video with Zach and Ray. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for tuning into another reaction video, and you guys have a good rest of your night. Appreciate it.
Never been so lucky I can have it all. Can I simply ask you where you get this money from? Money. money.